Has Mercury Retrograde screwed you over? Has everything under the sun gone wrong to prevent you from really having and enjoying business success? Well, if that's so, stick around, because today you want to hear what we have to say about this. I've got this lovely Francesca with me today, and we are going to talk about why things go wrong, what's really happening, and how to actually, get past that in our business, because it is a pretty prevalent thing, isn't it? I've worked with lots of people who this just seems like a roller coaster ride of one thing after the other of, I guess it can be labeled as an excuse, as a reason, as a bump in the road as to why they didn't get this done, why they can't get that done. And then, of course, the Mercury retrograde comes into play, and we hear a lot about that. And you have a lot to say about that.
I do!
So I'm just going to let Francesca take it away. Okay. Let's talk to us about Mercury retrograde and why we really are blaming the wrong things when things go wrong in our business.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to talk about this, because I know you saw the post. I put a post on social media about don't blame the planet for things that go wrong in your life. And I don't believe the planets have anything to do with your life, personally. I think when things go wrong all the time, regardless of where the planets are. And it's very easy to get into this excuse path, a very cushy place where we don't do things. If things go wrong because they're out of your control, it's just they're out of your control, but that's not an excuse. So if we look at, I think it actually lasts, I don't even know, because I don't follow Mercury retrograde at all.
I only hear about it on Facebook.
Yeah, I just see a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and every time I've said, I've had computer problems, or had people say, it's Mercury retrograde. And I'm like, well, there are things that go wrong even when there is no...
I have lots of computer problems all year round. It has nothing to do with Mercury retrograde.
And I don't know how long it lasts, but I do know that it's more than one day. So what are we going to do? Sit down and just do nothing until this is over, and then there'll be something else. Then it's summer, then it's winter, then it's too hot, then it's too cold.
Yeah.
So
there's always reasons.
My point there was, just whatever comes your way, just deal with it and move forward. Figure it out. There's always something, that you can figure it out. Get over the challenge. That's life. That's business if you're in business. Yeah. And stop blaming, because you're wasting time. Just the fact that you start writing, it's Mercury retrograde, you are internally telling yourself, it's not my fault, there's nothing I can do about it, when there actually is something you can do about it. So that's why it kind of upsets me when I see that. I'm like,
I'm as you were talking, I was wondering, is there something underlying going on? Are people kind of grasping at these excuses to avoid things, and to justify or to make up for lack of sales and stuff like that?
I think it's all of the above, and some of depends on who it is. Some people are extremely superstitious and believe and truly believe this. And I don't mean to offend anybody who believes this deeply, but science proves otherwise. Mercury has nothing to do with anything going wrong in our electronic world. So, or even with people, because I see, I've seen people post about they had an argument with somebody, and then somebody will say, it's Mercury retrograde. Well, what does that have to do with that person? If that person is a nasty person, that person is nasty, all 12 months of the year and all 30 days of each month. So it's not just at certain times. I think it's important that we really focus on what's important and what's really, really true. And it's factual, like double check facts. Like, let's not assume. We tend to, and I've done that too, where we tend to get on this bandwagon just because we hear so-and-so says it, and another person, and all of a sudden we start buying into that. This is probably real fact, and when it's not. And how do we apply that in business? It's the same thing, because you'll hear a million opinions, or you'll hear one person. I know we had talked about other things in the past where it's common to say, you should charge more for what you do, and everybody's telling you that. Well, maybe you shouldn't. Don't stop listening to everybody. Maybe you're charging already too much. Like, we don't know, right? So it's very important that we really focus on what's important and not jump on the bandwagon, and really do our homework and do the research. Is this true? If everybody's talking about it, find out, is it really true? What are the facts behind it? Or are you just jumping on that bandwagon and assuming that it is true just because everybody else is saying it?
And using it as a reason for whatever it is that's lacking or not working.
Yeah.
So do you have any tips that you can share? So whether somebody believes in it or not, everybody has their right to believe in Mercury Retrograde or the energies of the world. There is some justification for that kind of stuff at all times. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to run a business, you have to know what to do despite all of these roadblocks and these occurrences that are coming up. So do you have any tips to share when a roadblock occurs, whether when people want to blame Mercury Retrograde, but maybe it's just maybe something just wasn't done properly, it wasn't done right, they were following the wrong advice, whatever. Aside from getting the right advice from the right people, do you have any kind of tips that you can share to?
Yeah, I'll give you one big one. If you have your own business, not everybody's an entrepreneur. Not everybody that has a business is an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. Okay, entrepreneur is really, it's in here. It's the way you're wired. It's the way you think. But there are a lot of people who are self-employed, who have a business, who are not entrepreneurs, that need to think like an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. So whoever you are, if you're an entrepreneur, you already think like one. If you're not, if you're making excuses, you're not thinking like an entrepreneur. So my biggest tip is to think like an entrepreneur. Because an entrepreneur, well, first of all, it doesn't matter what business you have. It doesn't matter what time of the year you start your business or you run your business. Whenever your high season, low season, if your business runs with that, a business will present challenges. End of story. That's just the way it is, right? It doesn't matter. You will have challenges all the time. You will have great times where everything seems to go smooth sailing, and then bang, you will hit a wall. Something will happen, and it's going to be like this big Mount Everest that you have to climb. You don't know what to do, and you have to figure out how to get to the other side. If you put your entrepreneur hat on and think, okay, I have a business. I gotta put my big pants on and I'm going to figure this out. I'm gonna hire the right people to help me with it, if that's the case, or I will find a way to solve the problem. And look at how you, not only how you can solve the problem, how you can turn it into a positive to move you upward. I don't say just forward, but forward and upward versus just moving forward. So that's my biggest tip, is to really start shifting how you think when a challenge comes, right? And if you can't handle challenges, maybe you shouldn't be in business, because that's what business is about. The rewards are amazing if you shift the way you think.
That is such a profound thing, and I want to reiterate what you said, because it is so important. And again, it doesn't matter what we are laying blame on. Mercury retrograde, whatever, the weather, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, is what you're saying. Mm-hmm. What is relevant is your resilience in recognizing, okay, I've got a problem. And then the key here is, what are you going to do? Are you going to sit and pout and complain on Facebook that, oh my God, everything's going so wrong, I'm just la la la, That's exactly how they do it too.
Yes.
Or are you going to put your big panties on, big girl panties, and go, okay.
Or big boy, if you're a man watching this.
Sorry, yes. And go, okay, we've got a problem. How are we going to fix this? What do I need to do to turn this around? What do I need? to create? Who do I need to get help from in order to turn this around and, like you said, not just, move forward, but move upwards?
Yeah, forward and upwards.
Yeah, it's all about the attitude, isn't it? Instead
it totally
of
is.
sitting in that blame mode and pouting about what's going wrong, what's not working. This is where that law of attraction does, have,
I don't believe in the law of attraction.
Well,
we're going to have an argument here.
No, we're not going to have an argument.
Mercury Retrograde.
Yeah, well, but it's not, I say the words law of attraction, but at the end of the day, it's more about self-talk. And the more you talk about how bad things are and how rough it is and blah, 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 the less opportunity you're giving your brain to think of solutions.
I like to think of it as the law of focus.
The law of focus, yeah, sure. Focusing on the positive instead of the negative.
Yeah, because if you focus on not just the positive, but focus on how can I solve a problem, will get you closer to the result that you want.
Right.
Versus, is the reason I say, I don't believe in the law of attraction is because of how it has been preached for the last several years, where, you just sit there, you wish for it. If you wish for it hard enough, it's going to happen.
I'm with you on that one, girl.
So I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm going to argue with this.
I'm with you on that one for sure.
So I think it's very important that, if anyone who is in business, who is serious about being in business, to recognize that it is the way it's going to be. If you want to have a successful business, the more you grow, the bigger the challenges are going to come.
Sure,
so you can't rely on, like you said, you can't. If you're going to spend time complaining on social media and blaming everything around the world and the sun and the planets, it's not gonna help you grow your business. If anything, it's gonna do the reverse. It's gonna get you depressed. It's gonna get you farther and farther away from results and from growth.
Yeah.
So
because you're starting that spiral effect of downwards. Like you're not thinking of possibilities and how to fix and turning things around. You're just dwelling in all the negative stuff.
And here's the thing. When you take that responsibility and accountability for whatever goes wrong in your business, ultimately you're the boss, so it comes down on you.
Yeah.
Whatever goes wrong,
right.
If there's a crisis and a breakdown, whatever, it still comes down on you. The upside of dealing with a big challenge and not blaming the surround or anything other than taking that responsibility 100% will make you grow so much. Personally, that in itself will catapult your business.
Yeah. It'll naturally build your confidence so that when something does occur once again, as it will, you'll know exactly what to do.
And you need it. You need it because if you're growing a business and you want to grow that business and you want to get to a certain level, you need that personal growth to go along. You need to be able to deal with the challenges that are going to come ahead. So think of it as training ground for the next challenge.
Yeah, there you go. That's a perfect tip. Yeah. Well, so for those who are spiritually based, what you can do is say, okay, thank you for that experience. I've learned from it. Now let's move on and upward. You're just telling yourself an affirmation to not give in and to persevere and have that resilience that you need, and away you go. And then what you do is you hire someone like Francesca to help you with your business so that when you do run across these rough patches, you have somebody who's knowledgeable and has expertise in hand who can help you and walk you through, okay, this is what you need to do, this is what we need to explore, and this is how we can do to get you onwards and upwards. So Francesca, how do people get a hold of you?
Oh, just come to my website, francescaanastasi.com.
And
there's always a way. So whether you come to me or someone else, there's always a way to overcome a challenge. Just remember that. So it's never a dead end. Think of how many people have succeeded after so many tries.
Yeah.
I think I read the other day something about Starbucks. If Schultz had given up after, I think he had over 200 rejects from the banks.
Yeah.
Most people give up after the second reject.
Sure.
Or the third one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think they're doing pretty good. What do you think?
They're doing all right. They're doing all right. But yeah, that's a good point. If you truly believe in what you're doing, you truly believe that it's going to make a difference in somebody else's life in any way, shape, or form, then hold on to that belief. That belief is what's fueling you as an entrepreneur, and it will guide you in the right direction to find the right people. And then, of course, if you're struggling with your marketing and your business and your branding, that's where you can, get a hold of me, and I can help walk you through that. And there's people like us out there to help you.
She's good.
I think we better leave it at that, or we're going to have a little bit of Mercury Retrograde going on here. But
no such thing.
No such thing. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming, Francesca. I so appreciate you. I'm so appreciative and grateful that we met. Well, thank you for joining us. I hope you got a lot of value out of this episode of Business Edge. And hey, so the next time Mercury Retrograde comes on the radar, just say, whatever. I can deal with whatever comes my way, and then move onwards and upwards from there. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and be notified of the next videos that are uploaded. And if you know of somebody who really could use this episode and the wise wisdoms of wise words of wisdom that Francesca shared, please share it with your followers. And that's it for this Business Edge episode. I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.